Hi everybody, this is Con. I'm now driving the second generation F54 MINI Clubman. Okay, in Malaysia, the MINI Clubman is available in two different grades. There is the 1.5 litre 3-cylinder Cooper model, priced at 204,000 ringgit. The version that I'm driving here, this is the Cooper S 2 litre 4-cylinder version, priced at 254,000 ringgit. Okay, so a little bit of trivia regarding minis. Mini cars, okay, they are always identified make, variant, model. So the proper name, the proper name to call this car, okay, would be the Mini Cooper S Clubman. It means that this is the Mini Clubman Cooper S variant. Okay, so to compare it with other car manufacturers, it will be equivalent to saying Honda 1.8 iVTEC Civic, for example. Okay, so this car, you would have seen my Genting Run video of this car that was released a few days ago, and you presumably would also have watched Bobby's full in-depth review, walk around and all that, also published earlier. Links to both videos are included in the description section. Okay, so this video I will be offering my take on this car, my opinions, my thoughts, and my observations. So without further ado, let's adjourn outside. Alright, so take a look at this shape. This is a familiar shape. It is an iconic shape. It is the shape that everybody instantly recognizes as a Mini. Okay, so if you do not see those two comical headlights as well as this big gaping front grille, it's not a legitimate Mini design. Okay, so this overall look is evolutionary rather than revolutionary. So if you're familiar with the early generations of this Mini, okay, this is a refreshed yet very familiar look to you. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the details. These are the headlights, and you see this oval shape, and this part of it, okay, illuminates in a C shape as the daytime running light. This is the indicators, the headlight, okay, the headlight projector. And there's this nice little touch with the Mini logo here as a little design detail. Okay, so come here. All right, now this air inlet here is supposed to denote that this is a Cooper S, but if you look closer, right, there actually no holes one. Okay, so this little air inlet here, this is only here for aesthetic purposes. It serves no aerodynamic purpose whatsoever. It's just there to distinguish the Cooper S from the regular Cooper model. Okay, so you can see this is the large grille, okay, one-piece grille, and this air duct here comes straight from the previous gen Mini. Okay, now if you look closely to this corner here, you notice that this vent, okay, runs right through, and goes through here, channels air across the front wheels, okay, and into another vent here as well. Okay, so it channels air into here, into this vent, and the idea is that it's supposed to improve aerodynamic purpose lah. But whether does it exert actual improvements or not, I can't say for sure. Now here, look the bonnet. Look at the bonnet shut line. It comes down, runs parallel to the wheel arch, and here it goes over here. So it actually opens in a proper clamshell. The headlights don't open, so when you open the bonnet, the headlights remain. This whole thing opens up, leaving a gap at the top. So it's another very distinctive Mini quirk. Now, if you come to the side here, okay, you notice that the design, the sheet metal is very clean. Unlike most cars today, right, there will be a lot of character lines and all that. Mini's side body is kept very clean, no fussy details whatsoever. Okay, but you do notice that, you know, there are these little dark pseudo SUV claddings running along the lower part of the body, and you know, parallel to the wheel arch. So that gives it a slightly more rugged look, but don't mistaken, this does not make the Clubman, you know, Mini's SUV offering. That role is sort of taken up by the Countryman. This one, the Clubman, what segment does it belong to? That's a very good question to explore, because it is not SUV. Can't call it a hatchback, can't call it an estate, can't call it an MPV. Maybe closest thing to say it is an estate, but of course it has ditched the previous gen Clubman's suicide style rear door, so it's now a proper, you know, a conventional 4-door. Lost once again, loses a bit of the predecessor's quirkiness, but perhaps makes its appeal more all round and, you know, appeal to a wider audience lah. Okay, so you see, in this car is furnished in a two-tone shade, grey at the lower part, and door pillars upwards it's black. Okay, so from afar, even if you don't look at the front you know, the front face, you know this is a Mini. So come to the back. Now, the first time I saw the new Clubman's rear, I was not enamored by it. I did not quite take to the horizontal taillight design that was pioneered in the Paceman and now transferred to the Clubman. Paceman is no longer sold. Okay, so Mini now streamlines its range to just offer the hatchback, the Countryman, and the Clubman. Okay, so like before, like the previous gen Clubman, the tailgate opens 2 doors. Okay, I'll show you later, and the tail lights. Okay, so this tail light opens together with the rear door. Okay, and this section, okay, these two lighting elements, these are the backup tail lights that will switch on. Okay, when you open in case you open the tailgate. Okay, because European regulation requires that when your car is stopped by the roadside at night, and when you open your boot, okay, your tail lights still need to be visible to anybody standing at the rear of the vehicle. So like the previous gen Clubman, okay, you open the right side first, then the left side. Okay, well, this is not what you would call a big boot by any stretch of the imagination, but there are a number of smart little storage spaces. So let's start with the doors. On both doors, okay, you would see, left and right door, you will see this rather deep pocket. Okay, I'll illustrate with my wallet. This rather deep pocket that stores many of your little items. Okay, that will swallow quite a number of your little items. Okay, so this one as well, and also you would see at either side of the boot floor, this is also a very deep compartment. Okay, right, and yeah, so this floor, okay, underneath there's a hidden compartment, but before I show you that, notice these 2 clips. Okay, what happens is when you raise the boot floor, okay, these 2 clips actually serve to hold this in place while you dump whatever things you want inside there. Okay, and then you just lower it down and you close them. The rear seats split 40-20-40 split folding. Okay, there's a tonneau cover. This tonneau cover feels solid, smooth enough to operate. The folding seats do not have remote release, but because the distance is short enough, I can just easily reach my hand here and push the seat down. Okay, so I just reach here and down it goes. Okay, and yeah, so it's not a perfectly seamless flat floor. Okay, but there are no like drops, there are no steps here, so you can like just slide a heavy object all the way through. So there's this button here. Okay, this button you press to release the tonneau cover. That's very nice. There does not seem to be any spot which I can slot the tonneau cover. Let me just try. Nope, nothing here. So presumably you will just have to dump the tonneau cover like at the front passenger floor. So I will just slide it back in. Let me see if I can try and slide it back with one hand. Okay, so just rest it. So this is very good. I can rest the tonneau cover here, slide in, back. Yeah, so solid. Okay, so and then when you close this, okay, once again, okay, notice the shape of the latches. Okay, you have to close one side before the other. Okay, you cannot close that side first. In Bobby's video, he demonstrated you can close both together, but really the correct way to close it is to close left side first. Then you see this hook here, close right side. Done. So let's go inside. Okay, erase this. Right. Now this is supposed to split fold, right? So and you can still fold this down, okay, but naturally these two sides are hooked to each other, so you have to pull this down on your separately lah. So let's see this one. This is a center armrest. Press this open, 2 cup holders. Nice. There's a pop-up mechanism. There's a lidded pop-up mechanism, so you can, you know, store your drinks, just stow it away. Yep. Isofix mounts. I really appreciate this type of Isofix mounts. So because it really eases eases the process of locating the mount, right? And you have to feel your way in between the seat back and the seat cushion. Okay, so this is it. Yep. 3-point belt for the center rear passenger. Comes up from the seat back. Again, another very convenient, rather than you have to pull it, you know, up from the roof. Okay, so this is just a one single operation to buckle up for the rear passenger, the rear center passenger. Let's look at the available room. Okay, now I'm seated here. I'm 5 feet 7 and 170 centimeters tall. So here I have about, well, a fist of headroom above, and not too bad leg room. Okay, thigh support. The seat cushion go all the way to my knees, but it doesn't rise high enough to truly support my thighs, but it's okay. Right, and let's look at the design of the, let's look at the seat. Okay, this is very good quality leather. I particularly like this you know, this paw pattern. It looks very classy, very elegant, very luxurious, and you know, as well as the contrast in this sort of like suede-like material with the smooth leather. It's very nice. This is an adjustable headrest, and this headrest is pretty cool. Okay, for the center passenger, yeah, here, right. So you fold this down to give the driver a better rear visibility lah, when there's, you know, when there's no center rear passenger. And usefully, there are also rear aircon vents here. Okay, and this is a charging a 12-volt socket, useful for charging small items. If you remember the previous gen minis, right, they had this long center rail that, you know, that you can just put any sort of accessories to, like, or whatever small boxes that you like. Mini has obviously abandoned the experiment for this generation. I thought it was quirky, but in a practical sense, right, it is probably not very useful, but I liked it as, you know, as a little quirk that Mini put in their cars. Okay, so let's look at the doors. Okay, so this is the door, speaker here, and this is the door pocket. It goes, so it's about the size of one of my palms. Okay, it goes here, and there's a little indentation there for you to drop your drinks. Okay, and this is a very long little holder. You can drop like maybe a small phone there, or maybe Mini deliberately sized this to be following the size of a mobile phone. But yeah, this definitely can double up as a small storage space. Yeah, door pocket is quite thin. Maybe you can still it an iPad in there. Yeah, so let's go to the front. All right, let's get inside. Okay, let me there's something that I must show you right now. So this is the, do you see the screen just winking at you? Allow me to show you again. Right, so let me just start the car first. It's a bit hot today. All right, so check this out. This is the toggle style switch. You can either flick it up or press it down. Either way works. Right, so these switches, you know this from the previous generations Mini. They've always had these trademark toggle switches. You can flick them up, you can push them down, same thing. So this is the engine auto start stop. Okay, this one switches traction control, and if you look up, Okay, this switches off the room lights, the cabin lights. So check that toggle switch out. That one, okay, controls your, this is a one-touch switch to control the ambient lighting. Would you believe that? Okay, so you can see I'm cycling through these various colors. Okay, now this one activates the cabin lights as well. Okay, and one major change you notice with this Mini generation, this used to be the central speedometer. Now the center circle remains, but the speedometer has been transplanted to here, okay, onto the steering column. So as you see, I adjust the steering column, right? The speedometer and the tachometer moves up and down along with it. So it's rather quirky, okay? So the central speedometer, this is the trip computer, tachometer here at the side, and this is the fuel gauge, a quirky fuel gauge where, you know, this, you can actually feel the textures of these bars as they, you know, the illuminating bars to indicate your fuel levels. We know that, you know, Mini is part of the BMW group, and when you look at through the infotainment screen, when you scroll through the controls, this rotary knob, these shortcut buttons, this is all very obviously the BMW iDrive system. But one thing you have to give credit for Mini, okay, is that although the software, the underlying software is definitely common with what you would see in the regular BMW, you'll notice that none of these switches, okay, are taken from the BMW parts bin, especially not all these, you know, these toggle switches. These are uniquely Mini. So what this achieves, okay, what this achieves is that for customers, okay, for existing BMW customers, what they get is they get to experience a more fun brand, okay, a less formal brand, a brand in a, you know, a car that puts you in a less formal setting, but the controls, you know, all the interface, okay, as in like how you interact with the car, despite the different physical touch points, right, follow the same process. Okay, so now if you're a BMW owner, let me just run through quickly the screen here. Okay, now the screen may look, you know, may follow an entirely different appearance, but as you scroll through it, you would realize that the operating principle is exactly the same. The operating flow, you know, the interface flow is exactly the same. So if you've come from a BMW, whatever BMW model, you jump into this, the familiarization process is just instantaneous. Once you have known how to play with those toggle switches, it is exactly the same. So it is damn genius, because Mini gives you a totally different look and feel, but inside BMW software, but completely different appearance. Now look at the center console. Okay, 12-volt socket, USB port, aux in. Could use with more USB ports actually, if you ask me. This space here is wide, okay, and I like that, you know, if you look down, there is actually like a textured surface. It's rubberized, so things don't slip around there. That's very good. And these two cup holders, nicely shaped. So now the center console, this console is now widened, okay, than the previous gen Mini. So this area also serves a purpose. This bezel also serves a purpose. You push this to alter your car's driving mode, okay, sport mode, mid mode, green mode. Yeah, okay. Here's the center console box. It's not much of a center console box, like, really. I'm not sure what you can fit in there. I don't think I can even properly fit a phone inside. Right, so yeah, okay, let's look at the door bins before we go. I'm so excited. Okay, now this is a very good length door bin. This part is partitioned. You can put a big 1.5 liter drink. Okay, this one you can put slightly shorter items. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the glove box. Here's the glove box. Inside, rather deep inside, and and this is nice. They actually give you this this detachable. It feels, you know, it's a rubberized kind of surface. Okay, it's anti-slip. Okay, so you can put things in there and it will just stay in position. Right, so let's get on with our driving impression. So the 2-litre 4-cylinder engine up front is very familiar if you're a BMW owner, okay, because it is shared with everything from the X1 right up to the 7 Series. Okay, the only thing it differs is how the engine is oriented. So in cars like this one, based on the UKL platform, the Minis, the X1, the 2 Series Tourers, they are you know, transverse mounted, okay, and drive the front wheels. Whereas in the likes of the 3 Series, the 5 Series, the 7 Series, they mount longitudinally and they power the rear. So this engine is part of BMW Group's latest family of modular engines. Okay, they displace 500 cc's per cylinder. So that's why you have either a 1.5-litre 3-cylinder like you have in the Cooper model, or this 2-litre 4-cylinder, or if you are talking about the bigger BMW models, you have a 3-litre inline 6. Okay, but we are digressing already. So paired to this engine, okay, is an 8-speed automatic transmission, not the ZF 8-speed automatic that is used in the rear-wheel drive models. This one is an ISIN unit, but in Europe, okay, certain markets, this engine, certain variants have switched over to a dual clutch transmission. The reason of that switch, not entirely sure, but what it means is that it is entirely possible that somewhere down the line, okay, cars like the Cooper S Clubman or whatever will also follow and adopt the 7-speed DCT. Okay, now, so coming back to this car, now to start with the engine. Now the engine is this day and age, right, with every other car in the market running a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, right, there is nothing, you know, new or groundbreaking about this engine. Okay, it is not bad lah, okay, to start with. It is definitely one of the better engines out there, not the best, far from the worst. The most noteworthy point of it is that it is a willing performer. So you tekan, it is willing to rev. And the good thing is that when you switch this to, say, eco drive mode, okay, it doesn't behave sluggishly. It still revs with, you know, with a fair degree of willingness. It doesn't, the engine does not feel labored. Yeah, the partnership with the 8-speed automatic transmission is a good one. Shifts are smooth, refined, to the point where I really do not see why BMW is opting to switch this engine to pair with a 7-speed DCT. I mean, what for? We already know that DCTs have question marks on their reliability. The torque converter, okay, has reached a point where it offers the best compromise in terms of reliability, efficiency, performance, and durability. Perhaps the only thing is cost. Between a DCT and a torque converter, I'm not sure which one is more expensive, but I can tell you, given a choice between a DCT and a torque converter, my money is always on a torque converter anytime. Okay, because don't forget, a DCT, you get faster shift times, you get slightly better efficiency, but the margins is between that and a good torque converter is not significant. Plus the fact also, okay, a torque converter offers way better you know, smoothness at low speeds. So it's good that, you know, where our market is concerned, we are still getting these cars with the ISIN torque converter gearbox, right? I do not know if and when BMW will switch the cars like this one, the X1 and all that, to a dual clutch transmission. They may do so, they may not, right? No, nobody knows. Okay, so, but you know, coming back to this, the engine, transmission, it's good, it's decent, but nothing spectacular. The chassis, as you've seen in my Genting Run video, the chassis is very good. The steering, very sharp. Suspension, It's firm but not crashy like how the previous gen Minis were. Okay, in fact, I believe Bobby remarked in his video that the present Mini no longer has that edginess that the predecessor model had, and I agree with him. But whether is this to the detriment of the car, I would say not, unless you are a sadomasochist that you like a brittle kind of ride, right? This new one definitely is a far more appealing prospect to live with on a day-to-day basis. Okay, fair enough that, you know, that go-kart feeling that we know from past gen Minis will definitely be diluted once you add comfort into the equation. Okay, but Mini has kept enough of it that you still get, you know, a very good dose of directness and agility when you operate the controls of this car. Okay, like I showed in my Genting Run video, the steering of this car is very quick, it is very direct, and the feedback also is pretty decent. Okay, the feedback in fact is good enough. I can tell you that the tires are not making full use of the chassis talents. Okay, the chassis of this car has the potential to generate more grip than the tire is able to manage. Okay, so yeah, and so basically, to sum up, right, if you compare this to a previous gen Mini, right, what you effectively get, okay, is that you still get a decently, you know, agile, decently direct car, but with all the rough edges smoothened out. So when you take this over a poor, you know, like a pothole or a patched up road, right, you still feel the surface underneath, but you do not get shaken in the cabin. You do not get the feeling, the sensation that this car is something is gonna break. You know? The suspension just about dampens the sharp edges so that the experience is not an uncomfortable one. You still feel what is out there on the road, but not in an uncomfortable way. And I believe that is a very, very reasonable compromise, you know, for this car to be a viable day-to-day proposition. So overall, in a nutshell, the Clubman, it's a decent prospect, really. If you are shopping in C-Class 3 Series money, okay, granted, not the same kind of audience, I mean, yeah. But if you are shopping with that kind of budget, but you're looking for, you know, something different, this really does offer something different, okay? And I mean, you look at it, the performance is thereabouts of a BMW 320i or Mercedes C200. The cabin space, it's not very spacious, but neither is it very tight. I mean, it's not like you are feeling cramped in here. If you are carrying 4 passengers, this is a decently spacious car. Quality is fantastic. I mean, I think, right, this cabin, the choice of materials that you find in this cabin, the build quality, the fit and finish, definitely this car feels more luxurious. When all the touch points feel more luxurious, feel more expensive than an F33 series. Granted, the F33 series is an aging car, but still, it feels like a more expensive car. But what are the downsides of this car? For starters, equipment levels not to my satisfaction. There is keyless entry, but which is good. But at this price range, no front parking sensors, no reverse camera, tak boleh, man. It's, to me, at this price range, not an acceptable omission. But otherwise, not severely lacking either. Yeah, so I would sum this car and describe, this is probably the first Mini that I am reviewing that I do not have a love-hate relationship with the car. Because past Minis, right, when I drive a Mini, it's always a love-hate thing. I love the way the car handles, I love the quirkiness of the car, but I do not like the ride quality, and the cabin is too compromised for my liking. This one, I may feel old saying this, but this feels grown up, but not too grown up to the point where it takes itself seriously. It is a grown up car, but one that, you know, that still knows how to have fun. I mean, it is like that that elder cousin of yours who is that who has aged and matured but has not lost his his fun-loving side. So that is how I would describe this present generation of Mini. It is grown up. They are more grown up. They are more matured, but they have not lost their sense of fun. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, so as I mentioned earlier, there's a Genting Run video of this car. Bobby has also filmed his comprehensive detailed review of this car. Both these videos are accessible from links in my description section. Check them out. Right, so after this, I'm passing this car on to my new colleague whom we've just welcomed aboard, Kamfu, previously from Top Gear Malaysia. Now he has joined the Horizon team, and yeah, so later I'll be handing the keys of this car over to him, and so it will be up to him to produce his own views, his own video, and share with us his thoughts on this car. Okay, so until my next video, or Bobby's next video, or Bing's next video, or Kamfu's next video, thanks for watching. Bye for now. Oi, kya loy hai oi?
How come?
Small event might bring mini car.
Oh, I know. Oh, the Russian one.
Oh lah, one cake only.
Funny.
Oh!